Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Well, first to developing news, and health authorities are investigating a possible new coronavirus case in Tasmania. For more details, we'll cross straight to our reporter Sean McComish, who's been following the story. Good evening, Sean. What do we know so far about this development?
Well, Kim, we don't know too many details yet, but the Premier has confirmed that person is in hotel quarantine. Now, it is important to remember this is only a potential case. Nothing has been confirmed yet. We do know that this person has been isolating in the south of the state, and more tests are required for us to receive a definitive outcome from authorities. It's now been more than 2 months since the last COVID case was detected here, with 600 people currently in hotel quarantine and another 1,000 isolating at home. Earlier this afternoon, a special council tasked with working out just how we'll recover from the pandemic handed down its first lot of recommendations on what will be a very long road to recovery. Peter Gutwin says the challenge is clear.
How we ensure that we have a strong economy under the circumstances, but importantly also that we rebuild the social fabric of Tasmania as well.
Now he has 64 recommendations to do it. After 10 weeks, a Specialist Recovery Advisory Council has handed down its interim report, outlining what needs to be done to help Tasmania out of the pandemic. High on the list, clearly outline how authorities plan to manage any future outbreaks.
We think it would help community confidence if you were to articulate in a simple way what the strategy is for dealing with coronavirus in the months, the years ahead.
With the government previously promising to build its way to recovery, today a warning not to push that construction blitz too far.
There's been, in the past, overheating of those industries, and by overheating we mean too much work for the industry to handle.
Among a dozen recommendations the report says to do now, make government agencies and contractors buy local on the basis of if not, why not, and keep pushing campaigns for Tasmanians to visit their own backyard. The report's final suggestion is to accelerate a review of the public service, but Labor has its own recovery plan.
In particular, we would really like to see a focus on health infrastructure projects, a number of projects that have stalled that need to be restarted.
The Premier says he'll consider the report before November's budget, but before then,
I think our biggest challenge will be complacency.
It's hoped Victoria's escalating outbreak will serve as a lesson for Tasmanians.
Because it just shows what complacency can do and how it doesn't take a lot of exposure to create a big problem.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
To local court matters now, with the trial for a Launceston man accused of murder is not likely to go ahead until at least February next year. Jack Harrison Sadler is facing 1 count of murder over the alleged killing of Jake Anderson Bretner in Riverside in 2018. The Launceston Supreme Court heard, given the current conditions, it's not expected the trial will be held this year. Sadler appeared via video link this morning, where his case was adjourned for 3 months. Meanwhile, a husband and wife charged with the murder of Campbelltown father Shane Barker have also had their cases mentioned. Nolene June Jordan and Cedric Harper Jordan appeared via video link in the Launceston Supreme Court. Lawyers for the pair say they're currently working through a major file and haven't even scratched the surface yet, due to it being an 11-year investigation. Their cases will return to court in October. A minivan driver carrying 7 passengers and a dog has been caught allegedly driving 84 kilometres over the speed limit. Police say the 23-year-old Hobart man was detected driving at 184 kilometres an hour on Hobart's southern outlet around 10 a.m. yesterday. He's set to appear in court at a later date. Authorities are now urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. A new state-of-the-art surgery robot has reached our shores, set to radically change the future of knee operations. Surgeons say the technology will transform procedures, leading to less pain and a quicker recovery for patients.
A new high-tech member of the surgical team, guided by experts. This is the latest game changer in complex knee replacements.
When you do a total knee replacement with any system there is apart from this one, you get them pretty close 90-95% of the time. But having done 100 now, you get them right on 100% of the time.
Arriving at the Hobart Private Hospital in February, the surgeon says the Mako robot is already making a world of difference.
Overall, people are up and about. They're out of hospital earlier. I have the amazing thing that I've had people drive in now for their post-op wound checks at 12 days, walk into my rooms, get up on the bed, take the dressing off, and then when you ask them do they want pain relief, they say no.
A speedier recovery already experienced by this patient. Janet had one knee replaced in December and the other 2 days ago, this time with the Mako.
Probably not as much pain as last time. It took me 4 days to get out of bed last time, and this one I was up the next day. So I can actually get around easier and quicker, so that's good.
Providing some relief after years of pain.
The knees have progressively gotten worse over the years, and it's really hard to walk, very difficult, very sore.
It's about the only joint in the body that we can wear out just through age, just because of the mechanics and the biomechanics of the joint. So there's an ever-increasing rate of knee arthritis in our community, even if you haven't got a family history.
Not only does this state-of-the-art machine improve knees, it's also designed to undertake hip surgeries, with plans in motion to operate on other areas of the body soon.
But eventually they'll be able to do shoulder replacements as well as the femoral preparation and the total hip. So that's exciting times.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Police are working to identify a woman who was found dead in Hobart over the weekend. Detectives say a boy riding a bike spotted the body on the banks of the river behind the Derwent Entertainment Centre yesterday morning. Police say they don't believe there are any suspicious circumstances at this stage.
The woman is aged in between the 60s to 80s, of medium build, with greying blonde hair, light blue eyes, and wearing a light green woolen jumper.
Officers have also released images of 3 pieces of jewellery she was wearing. Anyone who may know the woman or has any information that could help police is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Dramatic vision has emerged of a woman narrowly avoiding serious injury at a Bridgewater petrol station last night. CCTV shows a Mitsubishi Challenger driving away while still connected to the Bowser. The fuel pump is stretched over several nail-biting seconds. Luckily, woman steps out of the way as the pump is sent flying back. The station is now offering free fuel to the woman involved. The Premier says there's no guarantee AFL games will be held in Tasmania this season. Peter Gutwin says he's in constant discussions with the AFL, but until border measures are lifted, local games are out of the question.
Until we are sure that it's safe to allow people from other jurisdictions into the state without having to go through quarantine, we won't be playing AFL here.
Teams would have to conform to a hub-style environment if an agreement is reached.
Part of the arrangements would be that the teams would be based here. They would be paying for their hotels and their food and other services that they would provide. And so there would be an economic impact.
The AFL is due to release its next fixture tomorrow. A new report card into the Tamar estuary shows water quality has improved overall. Samples from 16 different sites were collected each month between December 2018 and November last year. The results show work still needs to be done in the upper estuary from Launceston to Lagana, which has poor ecosystem health.
Reductions in nutrients and metals and improvements in dissolved oxygen. That's offset by continuing nutrients within the upper estuary.
The program has been working closely with farmers.
We're currently protecting 640 hectares of riparian areas, and it's excluding 12,000 head of cattle, 140,000 head of sheep, and we have effluent improvement in the dairy industry.
The report card was released in 2018. Turning to local footy, and Launceston's captain believes his promising young side is beginning to prove its potential in the TSL. The side shocked a sellout crowd at the weekend, pulling off a major upset over crosstown rival North Launceston.
Launceston couldn't have asked for a better start to the season. Unbeaten and now ladder leaders after Saturday's win against bitter rivals North Launceston, a feat that has eluded them for 19 matches.
We've only beaten them once now in 5 years, so to be able to do that again and again later on the season is now the goal.
The captain says the breakthrough is a coming-of-age moment for the young side.
Music out, it's hard!
We're starting to get a grip of what senior football is and what a game plan looks like at senior football.
Premiership talk swept under the cover for now, but they believe they're a threat.
It's early in the season. We've got 2 wins. Only 2 wins. 2 wins aren't going to win you a premiership.
North Hobart, another side in the winner's circle. Not even a Mark of the Year contender from Tigers flyer Elijah Reardon could stall the come-from-behind victory.
Oh, that is a magnificent grab!
But the real challenge approaches in the form of an undefeated Lauderdale side this weekend.
There's some bloody good teams in the state, but we think if we play our good footy, we can push them all.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
And the votes are in for the RACT Player of the Year in the TSL after round 2. Joby Harper was judged best of field in Launceston's 21-point win over the Bombers. Nathan McCulloch claimed the 3 votes after North Hobart fought back to score a 10-point win over the Tigers. And Lauderdale's Hayden Smith was best on ground in his side's 22-point win over Glenorchy. To the leaderboard now, and Launceston's Joby Harper sits atop the table by the narrowest of margins over those in equal second. Well, Kingborough Lions bosses say the club is not getting ahead of itself despite an important win in the first round of the NPL at the weekend. The side held Glenorchy scoreless after netting 2 goals in the first stanza of play, including this long-range contender for goal of the season.
It was good to get the goals in early, but the pleasing fact was we defended really well and we defended as a unit.
The Lions will be aiming to maintain top spot when they play Riverside at home this coming weekend. Campbelltown World Tour cyclist Will Clark has won the 6th and final stage of the virtual Tour de France. In front of a socially distanced virtual crowd, Clark made use of the Power Up Boost feature of virtual racing to storm past the pack in the dying seconds.
Will Clark comes through. Who is going to take it on the line? It was a really close sprint.
Very strange. It was welcome relief for Clark after narrowly losing stage 4 last week. Another Tasmanian, Cameron Worth, was also competing, riding for Team Ineos.
Good evening. Temperatures generally below average today. Hobart 10, Launceston 14, Devonport 13 and Burnie 12. St Helens 14 today. King Island reached 13 degrees. Flinders Island, Low Head, Friendly Beaches 12. Strawn 11, Grove and Ooze 9. Lyawini a top of 2 and a few showers over the west and south. Henty Canal recorded 41 millimetres to 9 a.m. and since then Cradle Valley had 9. Now, here's the cloud. It's moved over the west and south today. Let's have a look at it as it moved in there in that southwesterly airstream that will continue over the next couple of days. We also have cloud over much of Victoria, southern South Australia and WA. An area of high cloud covers central Australia while the rest of the country is mostly fine and clear. Tomorrow the high slowly moves our way. That's directing a southwesterly airstream over Tasmania. A trough sits through central Queensland while the front approaches WA. West to southwest winds tomorrow as strong as 20 to 30 knots and to 20 knots inland and over the west, swells to 3.5 metres. A strong wind warning has been issued for waters between Stanley and St Helens Point and from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point. Hobart tomorrow, a top of 12, cloudy, a shower or 2 clearing from Adventure Bay, 11 the top, 7 the high for Tarraleah. Launceston tomorrow, a top of 15 degrees and partly cloudy, 15 also for Bridport, Devonport 14 degrees. Partly cloudy for Burnie, 13 the top, showers easing from the west, Strawn 12 and Marrawar 13. St Helens tomorrow a top of 15 degrees, 14 for Swansea and Whitemark on Flinders Island. On Wednesday, fine apart from a shower over the west and far south of the state, a frosty start inland on Thursday and a similar forecast with a shower over the west and far south, also on King Island, and on Friday showers over the west and northwest extending to the north late morning. Sunny in Perth tomorrow, a cloudy 14 degrees in Adelaide, a shower in Melbourne, a morning frost in Canberra, a -2 start there, sunny and 17 in Sydney and partly cloudy in Brisbane. Partly cloudy in Hobart as well, 7 at the moment, 7 in Launceston, mostly clear in Devonport and 9 degrees. A great big high over the state for the next 3 days, Kim. Mainly fine weather but pretty cold overnight.
Okay, thanks for the update, Murph. Well, that is all your news for now. I'll be back later with some news updates. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.